All right, gentlemen, let's start with the basics. 25 years ago, the scattered realms experienced a cataclysmic event. Huge rifts opened in the earth, forming deep caverns.
Terrible event. Worst event. Some people say, I predicted it. Huge caverns. Nobody's ever seen anything like them. Tremendous opportunity, really, but also very dangerous. A lot of people went in. Most of them, frankly, total losers, never came back, sad.
Now, hold on, Jack. These caverns, they weren't just some business opportunity. They were a challenge, a test of courage. You had adventurers from all over, people with grit, going in to try and claim the legendary wish at the bottom. Reminds me of when I was a young man traveling.
Oh, here we go, folks. When I was a young man, Joe, nobody wants to hear about what you were doing in the Stone Age. Let's stick to the facts. The biggest cavern, the most beautiful cavern, by the way, was Barthal's Cavern. Incredible place. I would have built a gorgeous casino right at the entrance. But no, instead we got New Barthal, which, by the way, is full of crime. Terrible crime. You got thieves, liberals, fake adventurers. It's a disaster, believe me.
Donald, you can't just build a casino in a lawless adventurer hub. New Barthal became a bustling trade city because of natural economic growth. The influx of adventurers created a demand for blacksmiths, apothecaries, and merchants.
Exactly. A great market, but mismanaged, just like Washington. Too many regulations. You know, they put rules in place, rules saying who can and can't go into the cavern. Terrible. Big government overreach. The Alnarch Forsen, or whatever his name is, set up the proving grounds. Now, I like strong borders, but this guy, way too much power. People deserve to go into the cavern if they want. It's a free market, folks.
Come on, man. You can't just let anyone in. You got to have some standards. You don't send some farmer with a pitchfork down there just because he wants to go. That's how you get people killed. You got to earn renown, do good deeds, prove yourself first.
Oh, so now you like gatekeeping, Joe. You love regulations when it stops adventurers, but when I talk about keeping our borders strong, suddenly it's a problem?
Can we please get through the basics before we go off the rails? The proving grounds were established to control the flow of adventurers into the caverns. People had to earn renown by completing quests for the common folk, or if they were lucky, gaining favor with nobility.
Total scam. These proving grounds are just there so Forsen can keep all the best treasures for himself. If I were running things, I'd make a big, fair competition, call it the Delve. Great name, by the way, fantastic name. Contestants compete, best ones go in. Simple. And I know I'd have won it too. Nobody delves better than me.
Oh, for God's sake, Donald, you wouldn't last 5 minutes in that cavern. You'd be too busy building a golden staircase down into the depths while goblins stole your boots.
Wrong. I'd make deals with the goblins. Great deals, best deals. They'd work for me. Make me their king. They'd say, "Sir, you're the greatest leader we've ever had." Believe me.
Donald, goblins don't have kings. They operate under loose tribal structures.
Well, that's the problem. No leadership, no structure. If they had a strong leader like me, they'd be winning down there.
Winning what, Don? They're in caves.
Gentlemen, let's focus. New Barthal is a city built around the dream of reaching the bottom of the cavern. But the deeper you go, the worse it gets. We're talking about reality-shifting anomalies, mind-bending horrors, and monsters that have never been seen before. That's why nobody has made it to the bottom.
Oh, please. Sounds like excuses to me. You know why they haven't made it? Because they're quitters. The media keeps saying nobody's reached the bottom, but I don't believe it. There's probably some guy down there right now living like a king, and the deep state historians don't want you to know about it.
Don, if anyone had reached the bottom, we'd know. They'd have used the wish.
Not if they wish to keep it secret. Ever think of that, Joe? No? Didn't think so.
Look, folks, here's the deal. We know the wish is real. We know the caverns are deadly, and we know that to even have a shot, you need to be a real adventurer. The weak ones, the lazy ones, they don't make it past the proving grounds. You can't fake your way to the bottom.
Oh, really? Because I know some adventurers who got tons of renown by kissing up to nobles, brown-nosing, total corruption, disgusting. And you know those nobles aren't fighting their way through the cavern. They send their workers, their little errand boys. Meanwhile, real heroes get left behind.
I actually agree with you on that.
See? That's called leadership, folks. Bringing people together, making Cantrell great again.
All right, gentlemen, our heroes enter the scene. Picture this, a smoky, overcrowded tavern. the heart of New Barthal's nightlife.
Tremendous tavern, I'm sure. I've seen the best taverns, really fantastic places. Probably a McMungus's, if I had to guess.
Oh, give me a break, man. You wouldn't last a second in this one.
Focus? This is where fate brings together our heroes. They don't know each other yet, but they've all been given the same mysterious task by an unknown benefactor.
Classic setup, but let's be real. Only one of them is the real leader. Probably the human paladin. Very strong, very noble, potentially deeply closeted, but we'll have to see. The others? Side characters.
Oh, come on. That's not how it works, Jack. Everyone's got a role to play. You've got Asher, the wood elf druid. He's got that connection to nature, probably the brains of the group. Then there's Dungus of House Mungus, real salt of the earth paladin. He's the heart, the one keeping them all together.
And let's not forget Thok Drobash, the half-orc con man. He's the wild card. And finally, Cyrus, the dragonborn wizard, a scholar, a thinker.
Sounds like a nerd.
That's rich coming from you.
Guys, so these four strangers, all drawn to the same mission, are thrown together in chaos. Their first meeting, a complete disaster. Drinks are spilled, insults are thrown, maybe a few punches.
Weak start. You got to establish dominance early. If I were there, I'd have walked in, bought the tavern, and made everyone work for me.
That's not how adventuring works. These guys weren't looking for power. They were thrown into something bigger than themselves.
And that's exactly what happens. Despite their rocky start, these four unlikely heroes are set on a mission that will change the fate of New Barthal forever.
So let me get this straight. Some guy named Saren, a court wizard, sends them off to find a missing princess? What is this, some kind of liberal children's story? If I were writing this, I'd make the wizard a businessman, a powerful guy, maybe with some very nice real estate holdings.
Jesus, man, not everything is about real estate. Saren's got wisdom, experience. He's the guide, the guy who's been around the block and knows what's at stake.
Right. And what's at stake is Princess Clovia, daughter of Count Clovis, the heir to New Barthal. She's been kidnapped by a shadowy figure known only as the Crow.
Wrong. Liberal propaganda. Everyone knows his real name was Schlongnose. And he was a loser. Yes, a loser. Probably a pedophile, too. Weak. Very weak. Sounds like a lightweight. No one can kidnap a princess that easily. Where were the guards? Where was the security? If I were running New Barthal, I'd have the best security. No one would even think about trying to pull a stunt like that.
That's what they're trying to fix, Jack. The Crow wasn't some small-time thug. He had backing. Big backing. The Eventide Trading Company.
Now we're talking. Biggest shipping and trading conglomerate in Yurden? These guys know what they're doing. If they're behind this, it's huge.
And that's exactly the problem. Our heroes aren't just dealing with a kidnapping anymore. This is a full-blown conspiracy, one that could topple New Barthal itself.
So they start following Clovia's sending stone, tracking her location underground deep beneath the city. Along the way, Dungus picks up a new squire.
Oh, here we go.
Old Man Bungo.
Terrible name, low energy.
You'd love this guy. He's ancient, smells awful, and farts constantly.
I take it back. Tremendous guy. I bet he's great in bed.
Moving on, the party finally tracks Clovia to a forgotten tomb beneath the city where they come face to face with the Crow.
And they win, right? Just take him down, no problem.
Not that simple. The Crow is backed by the Eventide Trading Company, which means he has resources, manpower, and an escape plan. Even though the party fights him on the rooftops of New Barthal, just when they think they've won, he turns into mist and vanishes into the night sky.
Weak. Look, you can't let your villains just disappear like that. If I were in the party, I'd have captured him, no question.
Right, and then he'd bribe you and you'd let him go.
I don't take bribes, Joe, especially not from pedophiles. But let me tell you, Joe, that seems right up your alley. Listen, you can't just let a villain disappear into mist. That's a total cop-out.
It's a setup for something bigger, Donald. They won this battle, but the war's just beginning.
Fine, but if they don't get some real wins soon, this is going to turn into a disaster campaign.
All right, gentlemen, our heroes have rescued the princess, unmasked the Eventide Trading Company's treachery, and earned the favor of Count Clovis.
Tremendous. I got to say, the BBC, great name, by the way.
Here you know what it stands for.
Bungo's Brotherhood of Champions.
Brotherhood of Barthal's Cavern.
Same thing.
Not even close, Jack.
Focus. Count Clovis, recognizing their deeds, grants them the opportunity of a lifetime, a chance to prove themselves in the proving grounds for entry into Barthal's Cavern.
Got to swing your dick around a little bit. Put both nuts on the table. You wouldn't get it, Joe.
You'd still fail.
Excuse me? I'd be the MVP of the proving grounds.
Moving on, the proving grounds serve as both a test and a gathering point for adventurers who seek the divine wish. Our heroes aren't the only ones with their eyes set on the bottom of the cavern.
That's right, Jack. They meet some serious competition here. Grisha Ironclaw, tough as nails mercenary, no nonsense, all business. Query, a tiefling wizard with an ego the size of Trump's real estate portfolio. Frey, a quiet, deadly wood elf ranger with secrets. Kaz, a dragonborn apostate, stoic and unwavering. Troilak, a half-orc bard / barbarian who's got style and strength.
Losers, all of them. Seriously, they're losers. Very weak, I can tell.
I don't know, man. Kaz seems like the kind of guy you want watching your back.
They each have their strengths, and it's not just about individual power. It's about proving you can work as a team. That's what the Game Master...
Stupid name. Sounds like a kid diddler. Probably wears green. Probably hangs out with Schlongnose.
The Game Master wants to see more than just raw strength. He puts them through grueling trials, testing their combat skills, strategy, and resilience.
And they pass, barely.
Barely? Weak. Should have dominated.
Jack, it's called a challenge. If it were easy, you'd be down there already.
I don't need handouts, Joe. I'd be owning the whole cavern by now.
Guys, after surviving the proving grounds, our heroes descend into the depths of Barthal's Cavern. This is where their legend truly begins.
And from this day forth, they are known as...
The BBC.
That's right, the Brotherhood of Barthal's Cavern.
Tremendous name.
And a tremendous responsibility, because let me tell you, Jack, things are about to get real.